Wow, this feels so like, listen, you said you're going to be a CEO. This is what a CEO does. We pivot, we problem solve, we do what we got to do. All right. So listen, happy Thursday. It is 12:03. We always start on time because that's part of being a CEO. That's part of being a professional. I'm going to tell you guys right now, I literally cannot see anything but my screen. I can see your chat from my phone, but I cannot see anything but the presentation. So this is cool. Like I'm literally just talking to the screen. But in any event, this is still, we're gonna still make it do what it do. May 5th, today's conversation. This month, guys, this month, our theme is leverage, process plus people equals profit. This is a topic that's near and dear to my heart because as you guys know, I operate as a CEO of a couple companies, all at the same time. And so this is something that I live, right? This is not something that I just learned. This is something that I literally earned. And so what I always endeavor to do when I have this conversation with you guys is to really just cut down your learning curve. I want you guys to, sometimes I've been said, let me show you my scars. Let me show you my scars. Let me walk you around this hurdle, this pothole, and just save you some time. And so this is something that really and truly, guys, if you want to be wealthy, I just really want to tell you this. If you really want to be wealthy and if you really want to be free, wealth is different for everybody. I'm not saying wealth to the extent that you have to be a billionaire, a trillionaire. You don't even have to be a millionaire, but wealth affords you freedom, right? Wealth affords you the ability to do what you want to do when you want to do it, right? Leverage it creates wealth. And so it's important that your mind thinks in this space of how to create leverage, how to create more, how do I do more, right? In order to create wealth. So that's our conversation for this month. And specifically today, we're talking about moving from solo agent to CEO. What does that look like? What does it look like to move from solo agent, the way that I'm operating now, to operating as a CEO? We hear the term CEO. We see people with the title CEO. We see how they operate. We see what they have going on. And you're probably saying, well, how do I operate like that, right? How do I obtain that level of confidence? How do I obtain that level of control? And how do I also obtain that level of competence? A CEO is all of those three things, right? They're usually confident. They should be competent. How do you remain CEO if you're not competent? And then how do I feel like I am in control of all the things, right? All the things that are required of me and all the things that are required of my business. That's our conversation for this month, and specifically today. All right, so let's roll. Quick commercial break. This conversation this month is brought to you by Title Xperts. Title Xperts, we get you closed and funded. For those of you who we had not had an opportunity to work with before, benefits of working with Title Xperts: we are an attorney managed firm. Myself and my partner, we manage the firm. You do know that in Florida, not every title firm or title company is operated by an attorney. Our firm is. And so we do provide an attorney managed firm. We do provide a dedicated closing team. We provide regular status updates, helpful closing guides and training such as these. And then also rush processing is absolutely available. As soon as you want to get closed, we have you ready to close, right? So for those who I have not had an opportunity to meet before, my name is Racole Jackson. I am the founder of Title Xperts. I'm a real estate attorney. A little bit about my educational background. I attended the University of Florida. Go Gators. If there are any no's in the room, I do bleed orange and blue for sure. I obtained my law degree from Santa Clara University School of Law, where I was the founder of the Real Estate Law Society. I've always been interested in real estate in some capacity. I came back home to Miami and got my LLM in real property development. That's a specialization in real estate from the University of Miami School of Law. And I am a licensed Florida Realtor. Got my first license in California during my first year of law school, and got my second license here in Florida once I moved back to Florida. With that being said, very much willing to have the conversation about transactions. I always hear people say, I didn't know you were a licensed realtor. Yeah, that was my first license. Before I even got my bar license, I had my real estate license. If we have not had a chance to work with you before at Title Experts, we want to work with you. We would love to allow you to experience a 5-star closing experience, new contracts. If you happen to go into contracts while you're on the call, contracts at TitleExperts.com. Our general questions box is closings at TitleExperts.com. And we love our little vanity number, 866-5-Experts, right? That's our little commercial break. Now, with that being said, getting into our content and our conversation today, I was laughing as I was preparing for today's conversation. And I said, you know what, I don't want to, I beat you guys up a lot throughout the week or every week with, you know, do this, do this, do this, do this. Why aren't you doing that? And I just wanted to check in with this conversation today to really reset and regroup and again, relay and water the foundation as to why why you're tasked with the task that you're tasked with when we come together each week as we discuss business development, right? So that you are that your mind is ready to receive all of these responsibilities. We talked about last week how the definition of an enterprise is a complicated and risky endeavor. Right? And you did take a risk. You took a risk to say, listen, I'm going to try this business thing on my own. I'm going to do this myself. I'm going to become a CEO. I'm going to own and operate my own company. And congratulations, you have done that. As soon as you got your license and you placed your license with a broker, and if you are a broker, you know, now that you are a broker, but either way, whether you are an agent or a broker, you are the CEO. You are the CEO of your very own real estate company. And no one can take that away from you. Right? No one can absolutely take that. Before you did one deal, before you do 100 deals, before you do 1,000 deals, before you do $1 billion in volume, you're still a CEO. And so with that being said, you're expected to operate as a CEO. You're expected to think CEO so that you can do CEO, right? Be CEO and then have the things that a CEO has. So we start back at this thought process that you are the CEO of your very own real estate company. Now, the reason why I have a passion for this, I can tell you guys, as you know, I'm an attorney. Law school didn't teach me how to run a law firm. Real estate school actually did not teach me how to run my real estate business when I started selling real estate. I always say, I don't know if they taught you guys, but mine didn't, right? Mine taught how to pass the exam, and that was it. They did not teach me how to run a business. And so we're left as CEOs to learn how to run the business after we've gotten our license, right? After we've gotten our real estate license, after we've gotten mortgage brokers licenses, after we've gotten even law, dental, medical. That's just how it is, right? No one has really taught us how to run a business. And so that's what you're left to do. And so that is the passion and the mission of these conversations each week. Now, I included this graphic because I really want you guys to see what it means when it says that you are a CEO. Place yourself at the head of this diagram. And if you place yourself at the head of this diagram, do you have all of these other roles and functions operating under you? And I'll tell you, if you don't, then you are all of those roles. If that's true, let me see a 1 in the chat. If that's true for you, I mean, I hope you're doing all these things. That's what it takes to run a business, right? You're doing if you realize this is all the things that you have to do to be successful in a business. Girly say, man. Girly has all of the commentary. So for our new agents, our seasoned agents, our highly seasoned agents, this visual just does something for me. It's like, wow, this is me. These are all the people that are to operate up under me, right? And if I don't have these roles operating up under me, then I am these roles. And that's where you're going to start. That's where most people start. So what should the top person do? How should they perform? Going back to how we said no one taught us how to run a business. You know that most small businesses fails within 5 years. Legit 5 years. They say once you hit the 5-year mark as a small business, you should be good to go. You've hit all the bumps. Unfortunately, most real estate agents are out of business within 2 years. It's a very quick. It's a very quick up and down. If you don't get it, if you don't get it quickly, then you exit pretty quickly. But I think it's because realtors have not been told that they're operating a business. I think if you understood from the outset that you're running a business and that you're not someone's employee, right? That no one's going to wake you up. No one's going to tell you how many deals you need to do. No one's going to make sure that you're doing those deals. No one's going to make sure that you're consistently marketing. They tell you you're an independent contractor, which makes you still kind of feel like you're an employee, right? Because that's usually what lines up together, independent contractor or employee. So you're like, oh, I'm up under such and such. I'm up under XYZ brokerage. Not really, because XYZ brokerage is a partner to you. You should see them as a partner, something an entity that you're linking up with. They just have more liability than you. They have more overhead and expenses than you, right? They have a bunch of a bunch of other partners and other real estate agents that are part of that brokerage. But I contend that if realtors had been advised from the time that they got their license, hey, you're running a business, conduct yourself accordingly, that we wouldn't have this 2-year attrition. So here are the 4 causes of failure, for sure. There's 4 main causes of failure for real estate professionals. And if these are addressed, you go from thinking like, oh, I'm a sales associate, I'm a realtor, to I'm operating a business. If you attack these 4 causes of failure, you will operate like a CEO, right? The first cause of failure is lack of vision. Lack of vision. You don't know what, you really don't have a vision for your business, right? You kind of just bump it in the night, as they say. And then secondly, there's no business plan to match the vision. So you have a place that you want to go. Once you figured out where you want to be, how you want to operate, what are the plans to get there? What's the roadmap to get to that place? Right? Once you have a business plan, it's going to take personal and professional development to operate like a CEO. Without these 4 things, you cannot effectively operate like a CEO. There's always going to fall short of operating like a CEO, right? So let's attack the first one. I use this example. This is Robert Refkin. You guys know he's the founder or co-founder of Compass. And this was on his Instagram. He said, I was recently reminded of this moment back in August 2013 when we were Urban Compass. That was the name of the company was Urban Compass the first time, or when they started. He said, and I ran around NYC with a red backpack showing rentals to customers. Looking back on these memories makes me so proud of how far we've come as a company. Just goes to show that no dream is ever too big. No dream, no vision is ever too big. He said he ran across this photo, August of 2013. And that was his post. That was the caption along with that photo. So excited to be helping people find a great place to live in NYC. Had a fun afternoon showing customers apartment rentals on Sunday. Check out www.urbancompass.com and maybe I'll be the one showing you. Oh my God. Robert Refkin showing people around, the Robert Refkin showing people around for rentals, right? Because people turn their nose, they look down their nose on rentals, at least here in Florida. New York is a different market, right? Rentals in New York, price points are like purchasing here in South Florida, right? But this is Robert Refkin, just 2013, right? So that's what, not even 10 years ago? Am I doing the math right? Not even 10 years ago. Not even 10 years ago, he was running around with a red backpack with a company named Urban Compass. Hello. Where is he now? New York Stock Exchange. He had a vision. He had a vision. He, as they say, he understood the assignment. He knew where he was going from the time this company was founded. You do not, guys, this actually, they went to the New York Stock Exchange. Oh, this photo is probably maybe 2 years old. We're in 2022, so 2020. So 7 years. From founding to New York Stock Exchange, 7 years. What an execution. That's execution. That is execution if I have ever seen. So where will you be in 7 years? You don't have to be on the New York Stock Exchange, but you could. You can. Clearly, you can. Where will you be in 7 years? If you start out the gate with a vision. So the question for you is, what is your vision for your real estate business? What is your vision for your real estate business? Everyone's vision is different. What is your vision for your real estate business? You need to jot that down because you're going from solo agent to CEO today. Next thing, your business plan. What is your business plan? So you have a vision. What is the plan to hit the target of that vision? So we do a whole call on business plan. For today's conversation, I just want to do a quick snippet of a one-page business plan. Number one, know your service. This is how you hit your business. What is your service, right? Listing, rental, sales, right? What is your service? You have to know your service. And then know your numbers. What are your revenue goals? What are your revenue goals? How many listings do you have to take, et cetera, to hit your revenue goals, right? Then you need to know your marketing. And then you need to know your systems, right? Your systems are what's going to support you, is what's really going to create that leverage. And then the last thing I'll say is this business plan needs to match. It has to match the vision. You can't have a vision for a New York Stock Exchange with for the plan to wake up at 10, be done at 2. No. Lack of schedule. No, that's not going to do it. Nope. Sorry. Nope. Never taken a class. Nope. No, that's not going to do it. No network. Nope. That's not going to do it. That's not going to do it. All right. So the business plan, you have to put a business plan in place. So I want you guys to revisit your business plan. Number 2. Number 3, CEO mind. Because we talked about lack of personal development. CEO mind. Personal development precedes professional development, guys, all day long. Personal development precedes professional development all day long. So a man thinketh. If you think you can, you can. It's half the battle. As a CEO, guys, you're gonna have to. The problems rise. So you're gonna need to be able to pivot. You're gonna need to be, again, like we talked about, confident, competent, and in control. So I'm getting ready. I've been on this my system here in the office all week, 3 times a day. And all of a sudden, 10 minutes before it's time for us to jump on the call, it's saying, oh, your sound isn't working. What do you mean my sound isn't working? Okay, so we pivot. I get on this laptop, which I hate working with, not without 2 screens, but I get on my laptop. I say, okay, I'll use my cell phone as my second screen. As a CEO, guys, you got to have nerves of steel. You have to have nerves of steel. Not emotions of steel, not be empathetic, because you're dealing with people. We're dealing with people. We're dealing with one of their biggest transactions of their life, right? They're very excited, either very excited or they're not so happy because of the transaction that they're going through. So not necessarily emotions, lack of emotion, but you got to have nerves of steel. You have to be able, guys, you have to be able to think your way out of situations that you're trying to get out of. Or think your way into, how can I get into that space? How can I get into that role? How can I get into that position? How can I get myself into that level of productivity? You oftentimes have to take just as much time to think as you do acting. You need to think before you act. You ever heard someone say, what were you thinking? What were you thinking? What made you do that? And likewise, people say, what made you think to do that? Wow, I never thought of that. You see, I think I mentioned to you guys where I have a book called Paid to Think. Paid to Think. Paid to Think. I use the quote in my office all the time with my team. I said, if you know how to do a thing, you'll always have a job. If you know why a thing is done, you'll always be the boss. How is transactional. Just how to do it. Check the box. Check the box. I go here. But do you know why that's done? Do you know what makes that successful? Do you know what makes a real estate business successful? Do you know why? Do you know why? Look at your guys. I want you to look at your schedule. Look at all your tasks. Look at all the things that you're doing. And I want you to make sure that you understand why they're being done. Because if you're just doing it because you saw someone else doing it, that's really not going to be, not to say that you should not do it, but I want you to know for sure, do you know why you're doing it? Because if you know why you're doing it, perhaps there might be an easier or better way to do it. The how always changes. The how always changes. That's why we have technology. Technology will change how something is done immediately, which, as we know, can put a lot of people out of business, can take a lot of people's jobs. Technology, as you guys know, is fighting to replace realtors. You better be able to articulate why someone should use you versus how that you know how to place a property on the market. Because a website can put a property on the market for sale. But why is that not effective as using you as a realtor? Personal development precedes professional development. Got to know it. So I asked the third thing, what personal professional development habit do I need to implement? What do I need to, is it reading more? Is it meditation? Is it exercise? Exercise helps. I was telling someone I had a headache. I did not, I was like, oh. And as soon as I got up, I got on the Peloton, the headache started lifting. What personal development habit do I need to implement? What's going to make me a better person? You guys know in our office, we do what's called a daily huddle. And we use, where's my book? We use a book because we believe that if the person is whole, then the professional can be even better. So we need to implement personal development habits to operate as a CEO. When you listen, if you guys go on YouTube and you listen to the CEOs, they will, you will hear them talk about how they get up early because they have to get ahead of everyone's going to bring you the problems. So you got to be stable in yourself, right? Because all the problems are coming to you. So if you're not composed, the slightest thing is going to just throw you off, just rattle you, right? And then the last thing, CEO education. CEO education. Learn more to earn more. Literally, when you look at the top of companies, who are at the top, right? The people that learn more, whether it be by virtue of, it doesn't even have to be a degree. It can be a degree. Oftentimes a degree is a ready indicator that, okay, you have mastered something. But can I submit to you that results are even more impressive than a degree? Especially in today, we're in a new economy. We're in a new economy. Results, as they say, social proof are more impressive than a degree, right? But then I got to submit to you that you learn more to earn more, but you, as a CEO, you become the problem solver. And you can't solve problems if you don't have the tools to solve problems. Have you guys heard before, if you only have a hammer, everything is a nail? If you only have a hammer, everything is a nail. Because that's the only tool that you have. Learning becomes tools for you. So when you learn more, you gain, you put more tools in your tool bag so that you don't have to just hammer things. Maybe now I have a screwdriver. Now I have a saw. Now I have an axe that I can cut that problem down. So learn more, gain more tools so you have more resources. So whereas something becomes, what if it's a screw? Just going back to our hypothetical, what if the problem is a screw? And because all you've ever focused on, all you've ever taken the time to acquire is a hammer, that's it for you. You can go no further. But the other person that took the time to acquire a hammer and a screwdriver, they can keep moving. They can keep their forward progress because they're going to take their screwdriver and deal with that screw. Can I submit to you, if you learn more, get more tools, you can continue your forward progress because you'll be able to address obstacles. You have more tools. So guys, you got to learn more. A CEO is always learning. Always. Always. Here's a hack. Play something in the background on YouTube. Play a class or course. I know many of you probably have me playing in the background now because you have something else going on. And I'm perfectly fine with that because that's what I do. Learn more to earn more. So my last question for you is, what is the next class that you need to take? And it doesn't have to be a week-long class. It doesn't have to be, a month-long class. It could just be something online. It could be a couple hours that you're just listening to. But what is the next tool? What is the next tool that I need to acquire? What is the area in my business or even in my personal life or my professional life that if I'm called to do it, I feel a little like, not me, ask them. Or can we move off that topic? That's the area that you need to go and take a class in. You need to master. That's a skill, that's a tool that you need to pick up. Right? Because that's what CEOs do. CEOs are educated. Everyone takes their problems to the CEO. And the CEO looks down and delegates, right? So homework, and I know I usually don't give you guys homework, but I just felt compelled to give you homework today based on what we're doing this month. Homework, I want you to go back and look at your one-page business plan. I want you to go back and look at your business plan. I know you don't look at it. Everybody doesn't look at it, but I want you to go back and look at it, revisit it, because the next 3 weeks are going to be discussing how you can execute better on that business plan by using leverage, right? Leverage being, first of all, the transaction coordinator. Many agents, many realtors already have transaction coordinators, some do not. We'll talk about some additional ways that you can use a transaction coordinator. And it won't create more work on them. It won't create more work on you. But this is the first piece of leverage. If you don't have a strong transaction coordinator, I am going to compel you to find a transaction coordinator. It makes no sense to not have a transaction coordinator in your business at this juncture, right? So that's our discussion for next week, is hiring a transaction coordinator. And I really have some, like I said, just some little bonuses of what I think you guys should put in to increase your customer service level when you're working with a transaction coordinator. There's more that they can do than just shoot an email, right? Or follow up with the other agent. There's some little pieces that they can put in the fold, because we're doing the same thing over and over again. That's going to make you look better, make your clients feel better about the transaction, which should win you more business, right? So you guys always know I like to close leaving you with a thought. And the thought today is, and the so-called secrets of success will not work unless you do. We're going to work this month. We're going to work. We're almost halfway through the year. If you have had the success that you were looking for throughout this year, congratulations. Let's go a little bit harder. Let's tweak it a little bit more. If you have not, there's still time. There's still time to do more. All right.